Hi, Bella.
Hi.
Hi. So you're the student leader, right?
Yes.
Ah, yeah, I'm so glad you joined us. It's going to be a
Yeah.
big help to have your perspective. Thanks for taking it upon yourself to make that happen. We really appreciate it because it's been kind of hectic with the different orientations going on and all this online stuff, which is so new and different for everyone. In a normal world, I would have reached out to you and said, Bella, be there. You know what I mean? But it's not a normal
That
world.
everything's been so hectic.
Yeah. So how's it going with the students on your end? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. Luckily I've been very vocal about like, oh, I'm in Hutchins and Hutchins is weird. So if you are Hutchins, please, please, please reach out to me and talk to me because it is such a different program. And I
Hmm.
don't think people realize that, especially during summer bridge. I remember not having a leader who was Hutchins and not having anybody who was Hutchins nearby me. So when I went to like the whole registration GE
Hmm.
overlook thing, I was so like confused. So I'm like, oh wait, I'm in a really weird program. And then
Right.
now looking back, I'm like, okay, wait, I got this. I got this. I'm
Right.
actually in that picture.
Mhm.
Um, the your
Oh, yay.
background, I was there that day.
Oh, where are you?
I'm sitting on the ground right where you're standing. I'm like,
Okay. Sitting on the ground. Up. Is that you?
yeah, right there in
Okay.
the middle.
With like a lanyard and a white sleeveless shirt.
No, the one next to her with pink.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it's so funny. That photo is hilarious. Like everybody's looking at the camera but me. I was distracted. Something was going on like over there, and Margaret was like poking me or something. So I was kind of cracking up. So like I'm the only one not smiling and looking at the camera.
Oh, I miss Margaret. I loved Margaret.
Oh, she's going to be
Awesome.
around this
Yeah.
fall. She's going to teach all the
I
threes, and she's going to be teaching a seminar. So she's going to be very active in the program.
I'm glad. Margaret was the best. But yeah, the students have been, at least my students, none of them are Hutchins, but it's really like it's been difficult to be like, okay, we can participate even though it's online. But my students have definitely like warmed up fast and
Mhm.
they're excited to be at Sonoma, and I'm excited that they are excited because it's a little hard to get excited when you're online. So yeah.
Yes, that's true. And then a lot of these modules are optional, which kind of, I mean, I don't know how you can make anybody do anything online, right? You don't have them physically, I don't know if captive is the right word, but you don't have
Yeah.
them physically like corralled. So how
Yeah.
can you make anybody do anything? But I guess I was just kind of surprised at how many of the modules in both orientations appear to be optional for students, like some of the most important stuff.
Yeah, I know that at least for summer bridge, the students are getting 1 unit of credit
Oh, yay.
for completing it.
Mhm,
So with that, the summer bridge leaders and the faculty are like, we're checking. We're like,
mhm,
hey, we know that it's optional, but it's
mhm,
like highly, highly, highly recommended. So
mhm,
you haven't done any of the optional work. So like, can we
mhm,
really give you that one credit? And like at this point, we're checking in and we're being like, I know that it says optional, but things like meet the majors is super important. And
mhm,
like learning about financial aid is super important. Like those
mhm.
are the type of things that you really can't be missing. Versus
Right.
like some things like there was one about the hub. And as much as I love the hub, it's like, okay, if you miss the hub one, then I guess you'll probably survive at Sonoma. But if you miss something like this with the registration thing, you're gonna have a hard time.
Well, Stephanie and I were kind of wondering if we were gonna be chatting with ourselves today, but I see Maria's joined us. Hi, Maria. Hi, Maria. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. I'm glad to put a face to the name. Welcome. Bella and I were just catching up. Bella's a student leader at Summer Bridge this summer. Um, so I'm wondering, do any of the Hutchins students, are they in a group together? Do they have another leader? Are they all spread out? Do you know anything about how Hutchins students are experiencing this right now, Bella?
I know that they're dispersed amongst the
Mm,
groups because they
mhm.
didn't want to focus any like major specific groups just so that
Got it.
like because I think Hutchins self isolates a lot,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's like not the faculty's fault. It's a self isolation where they're like, we're special, so we're gonna So like we wanted to make sure that they're mixed in at least for summer bridge, so you're forming those connections. So I don't have any Hutchins. I think I have the smallest group. So I don't have any Hutchins kids, but I know that I think there's one in my cohort, and then the rest of them are like spread out. I think we have 15, something like that.
Great. Hello, welcome to everybody that's coming in now. Stephanie should be here any minute, the department director. So I don't really want to get started until she's here. And then I'd like to give it just a few minutes to see if we can get a little bit more critical mass before we start talking about requirements and registration. Bella, just so you're in the loop in case this comes up and you might be able to kind of chime in and help. The Hutchins students, when they register for their LIBS 101 course, they need to enroll in LIBS 103 at the same time. They're concurrent enrollments.
Okay.
And the EOP students are going to enroll in the EOP seminar. So I'm going to give those 5 students a code to add LIBS 101.
Okay, I will write that down.
I don't know if y'all are communicating via text, all the leaders, like how y'all are chatting with each other to make sure everybody's getting served. But just a heads up on that could be something that you could chime in to help.
I know I'm also going to be there the registration day, so I can definitely be helping you guys.
Awesome. We love that. Another good thing to know is that in addition to the code for the EOP students, and then co-enrolling in 101 and 103. Anyway, there's something brilliant I was going to say, Bella. I apologize. It completely slipped my mind. But I'll reach out to you in case
definitely
any brilliant pearls of wisdom drop into my brain. Which is a little bit full right now with those orientations going.
Understandable.
Yeah, and then plus I got a communication about transfer orientation this morning too. So
there you go. It keeps getting more complicated, right?
So Stephanie's joined us. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Bella.
Hey,
Department
Stephanie.
Director of Hutchins.
Hey.
Bella actually took it upon herself to join us, and I'm so grateful to her.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to be, really invaluable to give us the student perspective as we kind of move through this information.
Yeah. So, how do you want to start, Donna? Are we still waiting on folks to arrive?
Why don't we give it a little bit more, a few more minutes to get some critical mass? It's okay if y'all want to turn your cameras and your microphones on, since there's not a million of you. So I think we can handle the group we have now. Don't you agree, Stephanie? You think that'll be okay?
Sure.
If it gets bigger.
I've been in a lot of Zoom classes this spring, and so I know people have different comfort levels with the camera and the mic. So
okay, I'll let you take the lead on that. Zoom is kind of newish to me. I'm kind of learning about it as we go.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right. So how many folks do we have? 10. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should get started because people might just drop in and out, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's to be expected. So thanks everybody for coming. We really appreciate it. How do we want to start? Do we want to let them ask questions, or do we want to just dive in and talk? Questions first, talk first. What do you think?
I just like to kind of see, like, have folks actually been able to see the module yet? And so see Donna's advising information about Hutchins and the introduction video and all that. Is that something that people have gotten to see on Canvas?
Yes, no?
Yes, no? Show of hands.
I can tell you that they've only been opened up, the module only opened up today. So they haven't had the chance to look over it yet, but I believe it opened up today.
All right. Good to know. And then my brilliant thought, Bella, was encouraging folks to check their SSU email. I know this is a new concept for lots of folks. Hutchins has already been in communication with you. You just may not realize it because you haven't opened up your SSU email. And in that communication, depending upon what track you're in, we gave some very detailed recommendations about your enrollments. Mm-hmm. So check your SSU email, view the academic overview, which kind of walks you through the different tracks in Hutchins, what our GE program looks like. It's all there for you. So today isn't going to be your only opportunity to learn this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing registration when next week? What day?
July 1st.
July 1st. Okay, yeah, so there's definitely lots of time to go into Canvas, look at the advising videos, learn more about our programs. We're available to answer questions. I think our email contact is included there.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime, basically, shoot us an email and ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. And then the morning of July 1st, Stephanie and I are going to be available to help with registration. I'm not sure who our student, are you our student that morning, Bella, or is it going to be someone else? Do you have any idea?
For all the Hutchins registration, like anything Hutchins related, they put me on there because I think I'm the only Hutchins summer bridge leader, so you will be seeing a lot of me.
Okay, so it's likely that you're going to be in that morning session with us. So yay, cool. All right. All right, so how should we get started, Stephanie? You want to dive in?
I'm actually answering something in the chat right now.
Oh, chat, I forgot about that. Oh boy, okay.
Oh, it's cool.
We pull that up.
Yeah, she's asking about the AMCS class, which is fine. I think that will work. You know, I believe, because I'm the one who worked up your fall schedule suggestions. So you definitely have room for an extra class in there. I think we were assuming that you wanted to do psychology because yeah, you had expressed interest in that major, I believe, but we can sort that out over email afterwards. So Donna, like, how do you want to start with this? Should we talk a little bit about what GE is in Hutchins?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because Hutchins is, you know, I guess just to really step back to the biggest picture, SSU has what they call general education requirements that are the same for all students. So you may have at some point, I don't know, been exposed to like a sheet that says SSU general education requirements on it, and it's going to have a bunch of different categories in it, like A1, 2, 3, B1, 2, 3, 4, C1, C2, that kind of thing. And it'll show you that. Oh, you got it? You got the sheet? Yes, Bella's holding up the sheet.
I have the track 2 one and all of the requirements and where it fills in. I was checking this out this morning, so I was prepped.
Well, yeah, so I'm talking about SSU GE, like the thing that everybody who's an undergraduate at Sonoma State has to do. Everybody has to do this general education pattern, regardless of what major you're in or if you're undeclared or anything. Same set of requirements. It's 39 units for what we call lower division, which is what you do in your first and second year at college. So mostly when you're a new student and you're coming in as a first year at SSU, you're going to be working on that general education, not necessarily major requirements. So, you know, Hutchins is just an option at that level, talking about separately than the Hutchins upper division major. It's you know, we have a program where we cover 36 out of those 39 units for folks, and you do it in 4 courses that you take, 1 course a semester, first year, second year. So that's what makes us a little different, is that we have this GE program. And I do know there's, I think here at least, you know, maybe Stephanie Lopez and maybe another student who's here from Puerto who wants to go possibly into a different major, but they're doing GE with us. So that's why you're in this advising session, because you all are doing for your first and second year, that Hutchins general education track.
I
Don?
think I can do a little screen share here. I'm going to get all tricky. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can make it happen. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes, this thing. I see my cat in the background too. That's Maisie. But yeah, so if you look at this sheet, yeah, this definitely says, yeah, this is from our advising slide where it talks about Hutchins as a general education program and doing the courses in that. So you'll see where it says that GE area A, B, C, D, E, all of that under the lower division. Everybody at SSU has to complete that sequence of courses in all majors. So some folks do that by taking individual classes in each of those areas that are listed. Well, for instance, you all are pre-enrolled in a math class. So that's B4 on this form because that's the one area that we don't cover in the Hutchins GE program. But folks that aren't doing the Hutchins General Education Program are picking up individual classes in each of these other areas. And they're going to have to do that for their first few semesters at SSU. It's very common for students to be still working on finishing this GE even past their sophomore year and into their junior year. So one of the big advantages for you all doing GE with us in Hutchins is because we have an integrated curriculum and we hit all those categories in 4 courses. You will have that all done, you know, plus your math class. You'll be done with it by the end of your sophomore year.
Right, and then just to kind of expand that concept, students who are taking traditional GE, there's often kind of a fantasy that they're going to be able to pick and choose from all these great courses and somehow they'll be able to do one of this and one of this and one of this. And what often drives your choices is what classes are open and what's going to fit in your schedule. It's not going to be, if you're doing traditional GE, that's what's going to drive your decision making. It's not going to be that you're going to have all of these options from which to choose. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope it does. Bella, do you want to chime in about doing the GE program, like what that looked like for you, how that felt?
I would love to. I loved doing my GEs. I'm still working on my GEs with Hutchins because everything was very integrated into like social justice and education specifically and changing the way we look at education. So I believe everybody right now is working on an essay about how we want to change the face of education and what your personal experience was like. And with Hutchins, when you start to do your general ed, instead of sitting in a class, having a teacher talk at you about a book and them telling you Huckleberry Finn was very important because X, Y, and Z, you're going to read the book and you're going to be like, you know what? I don't like the fact that they used the N-word, or I don't like the fact that they did this, and this is how things should change. So with Hutchins, none of it is, let me tell you how to think. It's all, here's how everything is connected. And then one of my big examples of like why the Hutchins GE is so different and in my opinion so much better was that for our biology credits, instead we got to talk about Darwinism and talk about creationism and the idea of right and wrong thoughts and like, is it possible to be right or be wrong, and does it really matter if your opinion is correct? And that was like a really fun way to look at biology. Instead of having to learn about like dissecting frogs, I got to learn about how my peers thought of biology and how that changed the face of education, because Darwinism has changed the way that we look at religious versus secular education. So I think the Hutchins GE module is awesome. And you don't sit in a lecture. And I think that's really important, is that you don't have like 16 lecture classes where you just sit there and have somebody talk at you. You get to discuss things. And if you're an extrovert or you just like to spread your ideas, it's perfect.
Great. Thank you. That's a wonderful endorsement of our program.
I always brag about Hutchins. It's like my roommates say it's the only thing I can talk about is how much I love Hutchins. My students have probably heard me say Hutchins like 16 million times. Like I hands down, I think it's the best.
Cool.
Great. So, okay, so that's the GE program. And I think it's important to make note that I know some of you are not necessarily interested in becoming elementary school teachers, although many of you might be. General education isn't necessarily focused on becoming a teacher. There's certain concepts that everybody who is doing lower division GE throughout the California State University system are doing, and it's not about that specific content to teaching. I know that's often a question that I get from our folks that don't want to be teachers is, well, you know, what's in it for me? Are they going to be sitting around talking about lesson plans all the time? No, it's not going to be that way. It's about your general education, which are mandated throughout the CSU. You have to learn certain things, but the great thing, as Bella described so eloquently, is that Hutchins students do it in a different way. And our focus on social justice, and then our learning community aspect that we have that kind of builds that sense of community throughout the small seminar groups and then into the large group, which meets on Friday, which is called Symposia. Bella, why don't you talk a little bit about what Symposia looks like? Friday, so just so I can set the stage for Bella. So your Monday, Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock to 11:40, you're meeting in your small seminar group to discuss your reading, to work on your writing, et cetera, et cetera. And then on Friday, the entire first year cohort is getting together for what we call Symposia. So what did that look like, Bella?
Symposium was really cool. That was, seminar was like my favorite part of the week, but it was really cool when everybody came together and you got to hear about like the different books people are reading because each curriculum is slightly different. But also we had like really cool guest speakers. Like we had, God, I can't remember his name. It was Walter Echohawk. Is that it?
Yeah, Walter Echohawk.
Yes, I got it. So we had a lot of really cool speakers. They gave us tickets to the Angela Davis thing, and that was one of our like classes technically, and that was awesome. We do field trips. Most of the other majors don't do field trips from my experience, and we got to go to art museums like the De Young, and we're supposed to go to the swamp. There was just a lot of really cool like learning outside of the classroom, and that was really cool.
Trips, we're not sure how that's going to play out.
Yeah, that probably not in the fall, I'm assuming.
Well,
but like,
there might be opportunities for you to go and do some field work for the biology piece in your backyard or in your neighborhood park or something. Anyway, that's kind of up to the instructors.
When we pretended to be birds, that was fun.
That's going to be up to the instructors, and they're really working hard to make it work with this temporary, hopefully, online way of communicating. But in the spring, yes, y'all will be taking field trips. The first year students do at least 2, if not 3. And then sophomore year, you also, pardon me?
Per semester even, like,
yeah.
So even if there's a pause on that in the fall while we're doing remote instruction, we'll, you know, as soon as we get back to face, it will definitely be, you know, field components happening in the class for sure.
And okay, so that's Symposia. We talked a little bit about GE. Now let's talk a little bit about there's flexibility. So I'm going to get fancy and do a little screen share again. Hang on. Okay. Let's see. Thanks for your patience with all of this, folks. Oh boy. Anyway, no, I'm not going to do a screen save. But let's talk a little bit about flexibility. So a lot of folks come into Hutchins. They're drawn to us because we have a really great reputation for our teacher preparation pathways, or they're drawn to us because they want to do their GE with us in this unique way. And then often you change your mind about your original goals that you had when you applied to Sonoma State a year ago. Like, it's been over a year since you submitted your application. So some of you might be second guessing your pathways. And the great thing about Hutchins is there's all kinds of flexibility. You can do your general education with us and then go on to other majors for your junior, senior year. It's very straightforward because everybody, no matter what the major, everybody's doing the same GE. Our students are just doing it in a different way. So there's that opportunity where you could go into another major for junior, senior year after having this great experience of doing GE with us in this unique way. Or you could stay with us all 4 years to get a bachelor's degree in liberal studies. And we have 3 different tracks. Track 1, which is our interdisciplinary studies pathway, and track 2, which is our pre-credential elementary teacher preparation pathway, and then blended track 3. Blended allows students to get a bachelor's degree and a multiple subject credential and an accelerated 4-year plan. So there's flexibility here. You may start off in blended and say, you know what, I've changed my mind about being an elementary school teacher. Maybe I don't want to work with children. Maybe I want to pursue a career in library science, or maybe I want to be a high school English teacher. There's opportunities to make that happen after doing your GE with us or staying with us all 4 years. There's all kinds of flexibility. The only thing that you can't do is swap into blended later. You need to, if you do want to do that accelerated pathway that gets you a bachelor's degree and a credential in 4 years, you have to start that as a first semester freshman. No swapping in later. But you can start it and try it on to see if that's something that you want to do. And then you could switch to track 2 if you decided, you know what, I really want that flexibility that those track 2 folks have. I would like to study abroad junior year. Or you could switch to track 1 because your career goals absolutely have changed. We have folks that start off thinking they want to be elementary school teachers, and then they end up going into track 1 and going on to careers in things like human resources. Or we've had several students that have gone on to student services to actually work in the type of jobs like myself, where I'm an advisor working in a college in student services. So we have a lot of folks that go into track 1 that have gone on to do all kinds of different things. Stephanie, do you want to piggyback on all of this? I just feel like I'm just kind of jabbering here.
No, you're giving out really good, useful information.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would definitely chime in to support everything Donna's saying about the flexibility. Except for that piece about blended, if you all want to try to do that accelerated pathway, we basically need you to be in that track and start it this fall. And that's because one of the first things that you're going to do in that track is get take a course where you get classroom experience. And again, in this virtual environment, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it, but it's EDMS 100. And you do observation hours and to figure out right off the bat whether elementary school teaching is the career that you want. So, and then as Donna says, there is infinite flexibility. Even if you start in the blended program in the fall and you decide, maybe not so much, this isn't for me, or I want to slow it down. I don't need to compress this all into 4 years, both the bachelor's degree and the credential. Or you want to think about maybe looking at different credential programs, like doing an education specialist, or even we've had students recently that want to do credential MA combination programs. There's a lot of reasons why you might decide that like blended isn't going to be a perfect fit for your career goals or the pace that you want to take your education in. And then it's very easy to step into track 2 and still get the teacher preparation content in for your bachelor's, and then go do the credential later, or a master's degree program later if you want to, or even go into a track 1 or go into a different major. But I mean, kind of going back to what I was saying like 10 minutes or so ago about GE, the thing is like, none of this is going to, making these kind of switches is going to throw you off at all, because everybody's working on GE right now. and all students at SSU have to do GE, you're still making progress towards your degree goals.
Right. And you're going to have all of your lower division general education saved for you.
Yes.
And another great thing about if you're in one of our teacher tracks, although I don't want to just focus on that because I know there's some of you out there who don't want to be elementary school teachers, but one of the nice things about our teacher tracks is that we work cooperatively with other departments to make sure you get the classes that you need. So for example, like we work with the kinesiology department to make sure that there's enough seats for folks that need what is called KIN 400, teaching elementary school PE. And then we work with the math department to make sure that you get the math classes that you need. We work with the geology department. There's a class that's offered in the fall called Geology 107, Physical Sciences for Elementary School Teachers, that is saved just for folks that are in our program. So it's a good deal. We make sure you get what you need. And if you're so inclined, if you wanted to look at our 4-year completion and graduation rates, we have the highest 4-year completion and graduation rate on the entire SSU campus. We're way ahead of everybody.
Yeah. We make sure our students get through and get out in a timely manner.
Right. We make sure people get what they need.
Yeah. Are there any questions out there from anybody for anything that we've talked about so far? You can either ask us, unmute yourself and ask us, or maybe ask it in the chat. Either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, while we're waiting on that, y'all, again, I want to stress that if you check your SSU email, Stephanie or myself, we've already reached out with our understanding of which track you are interested in pursuing. So if we're incorrect on that, let us know, okay? And then also in that email in your MySSU, you're going to see some very targeted recommendations. And those recommendations, you know, there might be some flexibility if you're track 2 and you have room in your schedule to take a course outside of Hutchins. There's flexibility if you're track 1 most of the time. Kind of depends upon everybody's individual situation. But just know that going forward for track 2 and track 1 folks, there's even more flexibility once you get your math done, because that math is a CSU mandate that has to be done in the first year. Someone wants to know if this will be on Canvas. I believe it's being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Bella? So I'm not sure how they're going to make that happen, but the Summer Bridge organizers have said that they wanted it recorded to put on Canvas. So yes, it will be there. And we totally understand if you have things you need to do. But if you have questions, reach out, let us know. Email us, we're here for you.
It's being recorded and it'll be put on Canvas. I believe that they are a day behind right now with uploading things because it takes a lot of time to put in captioning and everything. So I believe that by Monday it should be up there where you see the little webinar, or not webinar, but the Zoom link that says, hey, Hutchins stuff. It'll have the link of the recorded version as well. So if you guys need to look back on that.
Right. And then Abigail, you asked about how do you locate the Hutchins GE course. It's Libs 101.
Yes.
And there's 5 different sections, and we assign you a section. So you don't go in and pick and choose. We assign. So we kind of like divvy everybody up equally, 15 students more or less per each section. And that your assignment is in that email that we sent to you. And then Bella will be our lovely assistant on registration day. So you'll be walking them through how to put everything in their basket and all that good stuff, right? Awesome. So how to register is something that y'all haven't learned yet. So I wouldn't get too stressed out about that. And also just another reminder that because all of these things are saved for you, registration for Hutchins students is usually a breeze. Like once that registration window opens at noon and you submit your choices, you're usually done within a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward, pretty easy. Right, Bella? Yeah.
I believe I only had to add one course, and even then it was Univ 238, and I got a code, I got in, I got out, and everybody else was stressing out, and I was done.
Yeah.
Right, because you were registering with a bunch of people who were trying to register for traditional GE, right? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the big benefits of Hutchins is how easy it is to get your GE done, get all that registration done like that. So, anything else that we should cover? Can you think of anything, Donna?
Libs 103, Margaret, right? Okay, Bella, go Bella, go Bella, go Bella. Why don't you tell them all about Libs 103, which is our transitional course. If anybody here is EOP, you're going to be registering for Univ 102, which is your transitional course for EOP. Puerta students, we got you covered too. You're going to be registering in Libs 103, just like Bella did. Bella, take it all away and talk to us about Libs 103 and Margaret Anderson.
Margaret Anderson, I love Margaret Anderson. I had her as my seminar teacher, and then second semester she was 103, and she does an absolutely amazing job with 103. She is she's very talkative. She's very much like me with that like extroverted energy, and it really brightens up your mornings. It gets you up and going and ready to learn. And she's she's all about getting you connected on campus. So if you're an EOP, then you might have me. I'm a peer mentor for the EDEC class that I know that Puerta students, the other ones are taking. I think there might be some EOP in there too. But if not, it's a learning community that helps you get involved on campus. It also helps you understand how college life works. So they have some of the similar presentations that we've had on modules. The hub will come in, other learning communities comes in so that you have a better idea of what's going on campus. But it's also just like another place where you have that sense of community and you have that sense of like what is going on. I know Margaret is huge on like what's happening in the world, so you'll definitely be getting world updates during that too, so you feel like you're not only connected with a small group but connected with everything as a whole. And you guys are going to love her. She's awesome. She's amazing.
Right. And then the whole idea about like transitional issues that maybe you haven't had to deal with before, that's part of that course, like how to get along with roommates, right? I mean, maybe well, y'all, this fall, you're going to be living not on campus with roommates. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. It's a whole new world.
You got to prep yourself though.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all about it. But there's other transitional issues that you're going to be dealing with that students haven't had to struggle with in the past. So absolutely, this is going to be a great place of support for you. Margaret is really adept in making sure that everybody's voice is heard. She actually went through the Hutchins undergraduate program back in the day when she was a college student. She went on to get her master's degree, and now she's back teaching for us, and we're so lucky to have her. She really, her thing is making sure that everybody's voice is heard. She's really good at it.
100%. She's amazing at it.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess the other thing to say about Libs 103 is it's a year-long class. So is the Univ 102 that EOP are going to take is going to be year-long as well. So you'll be with, I assume you stick with the same cohort of folks if you're in the EOP class, right, all year?
I believe it's cohorted, yeah. Libs 102, you'll move to a different group of 15 students in the spring, and Libs 102 for your GE class. And then Libs 103, it might be a different group, but you'll still have the sense of community that kind of travels with you from semester to semester because you still have the symposia on Friday. And then you might have some overlap where you might have a few people that were in your seminar from last semester and your seminar this semester. And then in future semesters, you might have other folks that, you know, this just kind of mixes it up nicely. So there's a real sense of community that builds over time.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be like, in the lower division Hutchins GE program across all the courses, yeah, you'll be in different groups of people, but you'll be all together in the same cohort. Everybody who starts this fall is going to be moving through the program courses at the same time as you are. So even if, say, they're in your Libs 103 this fall or in your Libs 101 this fall, and, you know, we mix it up for the spring and they're in different sections, as Donna said, you'll still get to see them again in symposium every week. And then, you know, oftentimes it wraps back around and you end up in a different mix of students with them, you know, in one of your sophomore classes. So.
All right, so Yesenia just asked a really excellent question that I think everybody might want to know. So everyone right now, no matter which track you're in Hutchins, is pre-enrolled in a math class. And that, you'll see it in your portal, in your MySSU, and you'll have time to familiarize yourself with your portal. You'll be learning how to register. But Yesenia looked in her portal, go Yesenia, she's ahead of the game here, and she saw that she was already registered in Math 150A. So no, she doesn't have to sign up for it again because she's already enrolled in it. So depending upon what track Yesenia is in, her other enrollments will probably be Libs 101. If she's Puerta, she's going to be enrolling in Libs 103. If she's EOP, she's going to be enrolling not in Libs 103, but Unit 102. And then she's got her math class. And then depending upon what track she's in, and also the English writing course placement, which is another topic altogether, which I don't know if we want to tackle that now. We might want to do that registration morning. There might be room, if you're track 2 or track 1, to take a course outside of Hutchins, depending upon your individual situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then in the email that I sent to everybody who's track 2 or blended, I didn't list the times for your math class because I had to send out 70 emails. So you're already pre-enrolled in that math, and the time for that math class is right there in your portal. So hopefully that makes sense. You're going to build your schedule around it. And in true Hutchins style, Stephanie already worked with the math department to make sure that all of your math pre-enrollments didn't conflict with anything that you had to take with us. See how we're so full service here? We wanted to make sure that nothing would conflict. So it's already been all sorted for you. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, let me see. Oh, Stephanie, Stephanie. So the AMCS was a course that some ELP folks are enrolling in, and they didn't understand that you were a Hutchins major and a psychology double major. So they put you in AMCS and dropped you from your psych course. Did they put you back in your psych course, Stephanie? Do you see that in your enrollments? I advocated on your behalf to put that back on there. If not, there's a section of Psych 250 that you can add that has a bunch of seats, so hopefully it won't be a problem.
Donna, she's interested in taking the AMCS class, so we need to look into getting sorted.
Right. Yeah. Stephanie will help sort that out. Stephanie's going to work with all the track 1 folks. I'm going to work with the track 2 and blended on registration day, just so we have a plan.
Yeah. So
let's see what else.
Yeah, I know.
It says to not enroll in English 101 or 100A. Oh, okay. Thanks, Abigail. Okay. So remember how we've been discussing how Hutchins covers all of your lower division GE except math. So GE Area A2 is the English course that everybody else on the campus is taking in a standalone class, depending upon their English placement. they're either enrolling in English 101 or English 100A. Y'all have that covered because you're in Hutchins. We are your first year writing course. So Libs 101 has that covered, okay? So you don't need to worry about English 101.
Yeah.
Then a lot of folks out in the traditional GE programs are taking a 3-unit course called English 100A, depending upon their choice on the directed self-placement if they took it, or the CSU places them based on what we call multiple measures, which are based on their test scores, their high school GPAs, etc., right?
Mm-hmm.
So some folks are being mandated to enroll in a 3-unit course called English 100A, and then they're going to do their stretch English and take 100B in the spring. Hutchins students, you don't have to mess around with that rigmarole. We've got you covered. If you are mandated to take a support course along with your writing course, which is Libs 101, we have a 2-unit workshop called Libs 100 that you will enroll in as a first semester student, and you don't have to do it again. It doesn't go into the spring the way English 100B does. So it's actually a really good deal if you're a Hutchins student and the CSU has mandated that you need to take a support along with your writing course, or your DSP selection indicated that you would do better if you had that support. We've got the support. It's a workshop style course as opposed to a 3-unit lecture Yadida course. So
Yeah.
I think it's a really good deal. Did you take EDMS 100 per chance, Bella? Do you remember?
Oh, you mean Lib 100, Donna?
Libs 100. Bleh. Libs 100. Yes.
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't. I just know I had friends who took it, and they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, it was easy. I just like went in and like for the most part they just like worked on their essays with somebody like the teacher or whatever helping them. Versus, like, yeah, with that, I love Ianthe. She's great.
Yeah.
She's the one to go to for writing help. But like if you take the other one, then yeah, it's a lot of somebody talking at you and telling you how to be a good writer, and then you're taking notes, and then yeah.
Right.
So
it's to help support your writing development in Libs 101. So Hutchins students, you don't enroll in any of those writing courses like English 101 or English 100A. We got you covered. By being in Hutchins, you don't have to do it. Is everybody cool on that concept? Abigail, thanks for asking that. That's awesome.
Let me just say, because we were folks who were track 1 who are interested in English as a potential major. Yeah, just to be really clear about that, if you're someone who's maybe looking to pick up an English class, you definitely don't want to do like 100A or English 101. That's not what you're looking for. I would look higher, go up to like the 200 level. Yeah. 200 level English is where you're going to find like cool literature electives that you might be interested in taking if you ever remember.
Yeah, like Intro to Brit Lit, Intro to American Lit, Early American Lit, Early Brit Lit. They also have some courses that are kind of focused on topics that kind of change every semester at the 200 level. So when I say English, what I'm talking about in this context is those first year writing courses.
Yeah, those are for folks who are not in Hutchins GE, but in regular SSU GE who are required to take English 100 AB or 101 to fulfill GE, like the category A2. So it's not like a fun class, it's like required.
No, I wouldn't call it fun. And then just to kind of prime the idea about Ianthe and her workshop course. Ianthe's actually a novelist, published, and she's a lit person. She also teaches our Libs 327 for folks who are in our teacher tracks in junior senior year, where you learn about how people learn language, how people develop reading skills. So she's got it all going on, and writing support is where she really excels.
Yeah, some of you may have her for your Libs 101, the big G class. She might be your seminar instructor.
Yep.
So I was thinking like if we could talk a little bit maybe about the professors that they might.
Sure.
Yeah, that might be a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you check that email that we sent you that has the schedule, well, Donna, you didn't give out.
I didn't list the professor. I just listed the section.
Mhm.
Track 2 and blended folks, I didn't want to get too complex. So I just kind of like, this is your Libs 101 assignment, right? 101.005. So I didn't really get into the instructors and things on those courses.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember, because yeah, I sent that out to my track 1 folks. So I think if you're in section 1 of like Libs 101.001, that's going to be Janet Hess, which I don't know, Bella, do you want to say anything about Janet?
I never had Janet. I heard that she is awesome though for first semester. I remember she helped out with the Walter Echo Hawk lecture, and I remember it being like, oh, that's putting the face to the name. And I heard too that the way she does art history is like really, really interesting, because she's very like hands-on while you're doing art history, whereas some of the other professors are more writing. Like I had Margaret, she's completely discussion. Janet was very hands-on, and like I know that her class was like really, really fun for all the students. And I haven't heard a single bad thing about any of them. To clarify, I haven't heard any bad things about any of the Hutchins professors. But yeah, I heard good things about Janet.
Yeah, so Janet's section 1. I think Ajay is doing section 3, and he's actually, whoops, am I back? I got a little thing that's
glitching a little bit.
Glitching a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not the best person to go through the list. Yeah, so yeah, but it's so like, yeah, so Janet's section 1, Ajay's section 3, Mercy's section 5 of the Libs 101 seminar, Ianthe's section 7, and Margaret's section 9. So yeah, so it's a good group. Anything else we should cover? I'm seeing in the chat, Donna, did you see Elena Campos?
Yeah, I just responded to Elena.
Okay.
We do have a few open seats. Elena, I don't believe you're in our major, but we have some seats so we can add you. It would just take a little bit of behind the scenes work on our part to get you into the program, and we would give you a code to add your Libs courses so that you're ready to go for registration on July 1st. If that's what you'd like to do, Elena, we can make it happen.
Yeah, cool. Anything else that we need to cover? I don't know. We're doing these little advising Zoom sessions like Monday, Tuesday next week,
Yeah,
right?
we are. So
Yeah.
this won't be your only opportunity if a question comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would suggest, since as Bella so kindly notified us this morning that the Hutchins overview, it's been posted in your Canvas so you can review it. Hopefully that will kind of help to set the stage. You can also take a look at the email that Stephanie and I sent to you. If you're in our major, you've been communicated with through your SSU email, which I know is kind of a new concept for a lot of you. The university does all of its communication with students via email. So really important information is they're not going to chat with you or text it to you. It's going to be sent via your email. So always you want to be checking that email and do it regularly.
Yeah. And we're here to answer any questions that you have. So
yeah, any questions? Anything.
Yeah. I see it's going to get a lot more concrete once you yeah, review those modules for the program and look at the schedule suggestions. And yeah, but it really is true. Being with us is way easier of a registration experience than what's going on for everybody else who's a new incoming first year, where they're all gonna be like sweating it, trying to put together a schedule and get into classes. Yes. Oh, thank you. We just got a comment from Stephanie Lopez. Looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it too. Yeah.
I also want to say, while everybody's here, I'm Team Jade on Instagram, and I'm very good about checking my Instagram DMs. So if you have any questions, it doesn't matter how like weird or like irrelevant or like, there's no stupid questions. You can ask me anything. I'm pretty good about answering. And of course, I love all the students equally. So I will be getting to your comments. And you have peer mentors in the fall who are going to be Hutchins peer mentors, but they're kind of like your summer bridge leaders, and they will be there for you every step of the way as well. So when that time comes, don't be afraid to reach out to them. I know I was really weird about it my freshman year, where I'm like, maybe these peer mentors actually don't want to help me, and that's ridiculous. They're awesome. They're there to help you. So yeah.
And I wanted to comment about the photo that I have in my backdrop here. It is the Hutchins 50th anniversary celebration, which was just last summer. When was that?
September 2019.
September. Yeah, so just a year ago, more or less. Where the Hutchins has been around since the 60s. We had a 50th year celebration where instructors, alumni from former students came from all over the place to come together to celebrate Hutchins. So all of these people here are former teachers and former students that loved Hutchins so much that they came back to party. And Bella, you're in this photo.
You can spot me right in the middle. I'm right there in the middle in the pink jumper.
Oh,
it was awesome.
So it's a great community, and we're so pleased that you found us. However you found us, we're glad you did.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, if that's all, then like, I think, what time is it? It's 2:51. When was this scheduled for, Donna? How long was it supposed to go?
Oh, was it an hour and a half? Gosh, I don't remember. Bella, do you remember? Do you know? Do you have?
I believe it was 2 to 3.
Okay.
I can, but I believe it was 2 to 3.
Yeah, that sounds about right. An hour and a half is awful long, but.
Well, I was just trying to figure out if we needed to hang in here just in case people were going to try to drop in.
Yeah, we could hang in. If anybody has questions, it's super duper cool to ask. We're here to answer them.
It's also super duper cool just to go check out the modules and take your time and look for our emails.
Yeah.
And then ask questions. Drop in next week, Monday, Tuesday. When is it? 1 o'clock?
Wait. Let me check my Zoom meeting schedule right here in Zoom.
Yeah.
Meeting. Oh Lord, Zoom is just so mysterious to me.
It's mysterious to everybody.
I don't know how to access this. Anyway, I believe it is 12 o'clock. Oh, God. Stephanie, I could look. Oh, I know where I can check. Hang on. Patience.
In my calendar. I have it in my calendar at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. That sounds right. Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, 1 o'clock. We're available on Zoom for drop-in advising. So, once you really take a look at what our recommendations are, and have any questions around the schedule, or want us to bounce ideas off us about like potential classes that might be good, or time blocks, that kind of thing, we'll be here for that. Or always email anytime.
Thank you, Audrey.
Audrey. That is one of the really good things is, folks, you're going to get a lot more personalized attention from Hutchins than you will from any other department or program at
Right.
SSU.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Advising is actually built into our program. A lot of majors don't even solid, you're on your own and you make an appointment with your faculty advisor or attend their office hours or not. We have it actually built into the program. So advising will be part of your learning experience in Hutchins.
Also, all the professors are very much personalized attention. So one really cool thing that I found with my freshman year was that I used to think I was horrible at writing. And then I got into Hutchins and I discovered that my writing style was just different than what my teachers had taught me. It wasn't that it was bad. It just wasn't very MLA. It wasn't very that kind of thing. So then I used to fight back against structured writing a lot. And then I had Margaret and she's like, no, you can make your version of it, translate it into MLA format, and it's still your voice and still your
right.
thing. And all of the help that you get through your professors is personalized. It's not somebody's grading your essay and being you know what, you didn't have as the word count, you didn't do as many pages as you need. They are going through and they're here are your big ideas and this is how you highlight them better, this is how you show off your strengths, and this is how you work on your weaknesses. I just found, I think I put it away, but I found my portfolio and it has a self-assessment and also my teacher's assessment where they talk about discussion and writing and how does that personally affect you and how can you personally become better. So it's not just a professor who doesn't know your name. Your professors will know your name, which is a really cool thing as a freshman because it doesn't always happen.
Right. And then another thing I think it's important to touch on in this whole concept about reading and writing, which might sound a little bit intense maybe or intimidating somehow. There's no textbooks. It's works of fiction and nonfiction, or maybe your instructors put together a reader like magazine articles, excerpts from newspapers, so on and so forth. There's not a lot of textbooks in your GE. Testing? No, not in the seminar courses. No testing.
Nope.
Believe it or not. So, but when we talk about reading and writing, we're not talking about reading a traditional thick, dry textbook. We're not talking about writing traditional essays, although you will be expected to learn how to do that, but it's not going to be the main focus of your writing.
Not at all. Lots of room for creative assignments. Very much writing assignments that are focused on your ability to express your ideas in the best way possible.
Okay. Any other questions from our folks that hung in there until the end? Anything? Do you have anything you want to add, Bella? Anything that we can cover?
I think you covered everything. I hopped out for a little bit and I'm back. So I think everything was covered. I just wanted to repeat how happy we are to have you in the major and how awesome it is that you guys came to this registration thing. And I know that it's it is time out of a busy day.
Yes.
And you came and you talked to us and we are so excited to have you.
Right. And we all understand that this was optional. So you guys rock.
Yes, thank you. We thought we were going to be talking to ourselves.
All right, so I think we could safely sign off unless anybody else has any questions. Anybody else? Okay, we appreciate you, Elena. Thank you, Yesenia. Thank you, Jasmine. I'm glad you're excited. Abigail, thanks. Jasmine, thanks. Everybody who's here. Skylar, thanks. Yay.
Thanks for showing.
Love all of you. I can't wait to get to know all of you.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to sign off. And maybe we'll see y'all for the drop-in advising on Next
Monday,
week.
Tuesday,
Monday,
1
Tuesday.
p.m. Drop in
Okay.
advise me. We're here.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.